Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Tuesday afternoon, August 25th. And we are looking at the market profile of the SPY ETF here on Window Trader. And look, it's the same theme, right? Wash, rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat. It just continues. And I think it's going to continue till probably around September 14th, after the summer is basically over and people maybe start getting back to work and we start focusing more as the election comes near. But right now, this market is doing what it does so well, so frustrating. It's grinding higher. Go out with another price probe. Shows you how important these price probes are. Even though we filled the gap and got into M's range today, barely got under yesterday's price probe in C, E, and F. Never saw it again. We were 8 for 8 wide, back and forth through yesterday's range, only to have the entire tone change once again in J, K, L, and M. Making new highs here on the day in the after hours. This is just like Friday's action, where we basically did the same thing, and then J, K, L, and M did what they wanted to do. We actually go out with the trend day up. We have single prints that hold. So whereas I could have used A's high as a price spike, since we have the single prints, which are only 10 cents high, I'm using those. I mean, that's just a very visual area for tomorrow. That's where change took place. I mean, you could basically use both if you want. It was a good day. Again, a quiet day. I had a decent day, but I didn't do a lot in the afternoon at all. I traded 3 short plays, all from Friday's 345 puts. And I did 1 call play when I knew the single prints weren't going to hold. 342 calls that expired Wednesday. I'll go over the trade. So we open with a gap, get below it, never see it until J period. Just like yesterday, we didn't see the open until M period after C. We don't see the open until J period. We one time frame down, fill the gap. So what was this, an A, B, and C? Quite simply, it was finally some inventory adjustment, right, from last night and this morning. We never got one yesterday from the morning. Flushed out week longs, picked up some shorts, and they failed miserably at the price probe. So what I did in A period was, once we got below the opening, looked like we were going to fill the gap, I got on board with that 345 put, filled the gap, and I was happy with that. B period. Once we opened, couldn't get the opening, came back down, took a put as soon as we started one-time framing down, looking for the price probe. Got close to it, really couldn't get it, tape it off, took that off. Then C started, and we actually had single prints. I didn't do anything right away, and I was actually thinking about shorting it because C took out B's low before they filled the singles. Generally, you get more of a push down when that happens, but they failed miserably. Once we got into B's range again, it looked like it was going to fill the singles, got on board with the 342 calls, filled the singles, and got out at around the high and M's high. And then the last trade I took, which kind of lasted over 3 time frames. So now I'm looking for possibly, now I didn't expect this again. What I expected was, after we traded down here and we're 8 for 8, when H went up, I was looking for an afternoon rally high. Figured I could take a short and we would get down to POC again. Even if we weren't going to have a perfect POC, we should get down to 9 wide, right? We were 8 for 8 wide. So I started short in H, very small. But what I did was, every time H went up, every time I went up, and every time even J went up, but not here, I'm talking about before D's high, I would take shorts, add on to them, came in, took them off. Did that for basically almost an hour and a half. Nothing big, but they all worked out really nice. And then before J took out D's high, I was out of everything. I didn't like the way it was kept coming back up here. We had a reversal bar, so I was flat by then. That turned out to be a good trade. J took out D's high. You knew something changed. Now, obviously, it did change because once we got above the opening, they barely dipped their toe into it and one time framed up the rest of the day. Did it get huge distance away from the day's high? Not really. A's high was 70 cents. The day's high was 344.21, but it did get 50 cents higher at its high, and it's going higher now in the after hours. However, it didn't get tremendous tempo or anything. The volume was horrible. M's range is one of the smallest ranges I've ever seen. So I just watched it again just like I did yesterday, although yesterday I did take a couple of shorts. Go home flat, go home happy. Again, markets don't go bull, bear. You have to balance first. Right now we are up in all 3 time frames with gaps. Now, destinations. First one will be today's high of 344.21, which is also the all-time high in regular trading hours. Now, this morning, I had 344.60 as my pre-market all-time high, and then at 8 o'clock, it showed a tick at 345.40. I don't think that's right, but I'm putting both of them right now, keeping an eye on both of them. So 344.60 and 345.40 as my pre-market all-time high, because I'm not sure which one is right. I think it is 344.60, but I'll just write it down. For the downside, we have the price probe. That is L's high of 344.09. So we closed just above it. So we don't know if it's accepted or rejected like yesterday's till today. And today's was accepted. We gapped high. So anybody who bought above the price probe in B, right, when B spiked, made money. Then below that, we have the single prints. Believe it or not, small set, 343.88 get filled at 80. Now, you can use A's high of 343.70. It's just 10 cents off. So if these singles get filled, we'll see what happens at KA's high tomorrow. Then we have the afternoon pullback low at 343.01. We never got 9 wide. We raised to 8, but never got 9 wide. Incredible. And then today's low of 342.27. 341.79, 12 wide, which I really thought, that's why I was looking for the afternoon rally high here. I thought we'd get up to around here, roll over, continue to get POC, and then take out this poor low, and I thought we had a good shot of getting this. Obviously wrong. Didn't get hurt, but it wasn't right. Then we have 341.79, our 12 wide POC, and then yesterday's low of 341.06, daily low, and filling the gap at 339.72, a 134-point gap. Now, by the way, we're continuing to go up. We might take out that 344.60 pre-market high tonight. Let's go to the charts. And by the way, I'm not going to even show you triple Qs, but that excess that was possibly there yesterday, forget it. It made a new all-time high again today in the last time frame. So they went out with a price probe. Okay. Monthly. 1 time frame and up 4 months. Very healthy. We're above February's high right now by $5. Obviously, it would be nice to finish above it in the month of August. We're basically breaking out of a 7-month balance to the upside. Healthy, very healthy. Weekly, 1 time frame and up. This is week 8. Are we getting stretched out in the weekly with these gaps? Yes, at some point, that is going to be poor structure that needs to be repaired. Well, before you can repair it, you got to go to balance. So let's see when and if that happens. And then on the daily, we came out of an 8-day balance on a gap, on another gap today, but today's filled, but we're 1 time framing up 3 days, and we're up in the daily. All time frames are up. Don't fight it. Just trade what's in front of you. At some point, we will get an opportunity to get a pretty good flush. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say we get a decent flush before September 14th. So over these next 2.5 weeks, I have a feeling we're going to get it. It might be a 1 or 2 day event where they flush out pretty good, come into balance in both the weekly and the daily. The question is, will it happen around these levels, or do we continue to push up to 345, 350 before it finally decides to do that? That I don't have an answer for, but we will have answers every day during the trading day as our market profile develops. Come check us out at CamelbackTrading.org. Have a great night, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.